Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Worre here. Welcome to another Top Earner interview. Today, we have a friend of mine from Orlando, Florida, came here to Vegas. His name is Carlos German. Did I pronounce that right?
Absolutely, Eric.
Yeah? So, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. And we want to, what I like to do during these conversations is to deconstruct what makes people successful. I think success leaves clues, right?
Yep.
So, how old are you now? You're a young man.
36.
36 years old.
Yeah.
Everybody always probably tells you look younger, right?
They do sometimes, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I've been around for, 16 years.
Yeah.
So it's something that...
So you're a veteran
Right.
and still a young looking guy.
Yeah.
So I want to know about you. Some people talk about entrepreneurs are born and sometimes entrepreneurs are made.
Right.
I have my belief. Do you have a belief?
I do.
What is your belief?
I believe that we all have it inside. We're just waiting for that spark to turn it on. And it's interesting because, for me, I was not a driven entrepreneurial mindset as a kid. And it was a moment in time, like I remember it like today, that changed, my mindset completely. And, that's why I love these interviews. And I hope to do that for other people.
Yeah.
So I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Wait, I want to get to that.
Yeah.
I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think entrepreneurs are born. I think entrepreneurs are, I think everybody has entrepreneurial DNA in them. And some of them have it beaten out of them by their parents or their school or their teachers or their employer or whatever. And they just accept, to be an employee. But you go back a couple hundred years, everybody's an entrepreneur.
True.
You better figure out a way to sell something, build something, do something, provide some service, build some company. Otherwise, you're going to go hungry, right? So, talk to me about, before we get to that moment, when you woke up the entrepreneurial spirit. You say you grew up in the Dominican Republic?
Yeah.
Okay. So, until what age?
Until 15.
Until 15. So, tell me about you as a kid. If people would look back and watch you, or if I ask somebody else, what was Carlos like when he was 8 years old, running around? What was your personality?
Yeah, I was very quiet, a good kid, a mama's boy. I was all about my mom. I love her. She's amazing. I used to save money from my lunch money to buy her gifts, and I was just a good kid, I never got into too much trouble.
Was dad around also?
Yeah. My dad was around. Hardworking dad. Both my mom and my dad were extremely hardworking.
Did they teach you that work ethic?
Yeah, by example. By example. And, it was very inspirational to see their trajectory because my dad, he used to work in the armed forces. But he was that entrepreneurial, spirit, and he created before even that, he was visionary. He moved us to the middle of nowhere to a shack in the Dominican Republic. There was nothing. And it was someday here, there will be a town and we're going to have a house. And, we started living
So he worked in military?
Yeah, he was in the military.
Okay, and you went out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, he found this town. He got a piece of land for free, and and he took it, and he was we're gonna build.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have one brother and one sister.
Where are you?
I'm the youngest.
Youngest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're quiet, family oriented. How were you in school?
I was pretty average up to a certain point until that fire got lit up on me.
So tell me about the fire. All right, we got to the fire. What happened?
You left a cliffhanger there. Well, I was a kid and, I was good. I was normal, but I didn't know why I needed to try hard to go and do well in school. And, I was at a family gathering and there was this guy that, he had gotten a scholarship at one of the best universities in my country, in the Dominican Republic. And here I am, a young kid, living, in poverty, right? With
how old are you when this happens, this family gathering?
I was probably 10, 11 years old.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And here I am, living in this poverty without dreams and ambitions, right, of anything big. And I asked him, oh, so you got a scholarship. Like, how does that work? It's like, well, you do well in a school and you can have an opportunity to have a scholarship. And I was like, really? So like you excel in a school and you can go to the good side of town and go to school with, the smart teachers, smart kids and all this stuff. And something so simple, Eric. That moment got me lit up.
You say, I'm doing it.
I was like, yeah, I saw the vision, right? Without vision, people perish. And when you're like, in poverty and, you see everybody around you just, find a job or, live in that mindset of there's no opportunity, right? In a third world country, you feel like there's no opportunity. And somebody tells you, yeah, there is opportunity. You just do great things. And I started doing great. I started working harder. I started modeling success. Started sitting next to the smart kids, learning from them, copying and competing with them. And all of a sudden I excelled and I was, now a completely different kid. I never got C's or anything, but now I was an A top student, doing extracurriculars, pushing myself, blowing and wowing my teachers. I mean, it was amazing what it was probably less than 5-minute conversation. Changed my perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this happens and you're probably at 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that. And did you just crush it then through high school?
I did, but there's an interesting twist where at the age of 15, I came to the United States.
So
right?
tell me about that.
So, an opportunity presented and, at this time I'm doing well. I'm ambitious. My mind is expanding. My mind is growing. An opportunity presented where I could come to the United States. And
did the whole family move or?
No.
Really?
No. So that was a big decision. Because the opportunity was for me.
Why? Why just you?
Because it was an opportunity where my aunt and my uncle were going to adopt me, have me with them, and stuff like that. Did
your parents want to do that so you have a better life?
Yes. But they gave me the option. They didn't want to force it on me.
Wow. For somebody who's like really close to your mother and father.
Absolutely.
That had to be a little scary.
That was scary. But at that time, I knew it was a duty and a responsibility for our very future. I'm like, if I go, I continue to do well, I excel. Now they can come, they can ultimately have a better life. My brother, my sister, we can all have a better life.
You became the hope for the family.
Yeah.
So we're going to send the hope to America.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it was interesting because I've always felt like I'm guided. I've always felt like, I have angels or, God is just showing me the path. And there's these opportunities, right? There's moments of opportunity. And a lot of people, the opportunities flash them by and they can't make that decision. They can't make that decision to ultimately fight for their better future. And my dad was not for it. My dad is very conservative. My mom, she felt the opportunity and she was like, this is
so did they
important.
Your aunt and uncle needed to adopt you so immigration would work, so you can
there's a lot.
That was part of the process.
Yeah, that was part of the process. That took a while, but I was able to come to the United States and ultimately
like a student visa or something.
It was undocumented. It was undocumented.
So you just found a way.
Yeah, we just
found a way. You just got here, figured it out.
Yeah.
And then once you got here, then you figured out a way to button it up.
Absolutely. And it's quite a powerful story because that fire that lit up.
How did you get across the border?
Saved me.
How did it happen?
It was a tough story, scary story,
Really?
a painful story. I won't even go there at this point.
Is that bad?
There were some people involved. Yeah, but
I want to know.
I focus on the positive.
Yeah.
I focus on the power. I focus on God bringing me here to provide a better opportunity for my family.
Right.
And that's what's always helped me. It's always helped me that I feel like it's not me.
Yeah.
Is a bigger purpose, right? So I decided to do it. Decided to come. Decided to
Did you feel like it was like Mission Impossible? You were Tom Cruise coming across the border.
Yeah, it was tough. It was definitely a scary situation and very, very deep. Again, I rather focus on. The fact that
the result,
the result, yeah.
But I also think there are times when you need to have courage, right?
Right.
To do something that's outrageous.
Yeah.
In order to be able to have a bigger life, you need to think bigger.
Yeah.
You need to say yes, tell the world, and figure it out. And even if it means getting here, doing those different things, figuring that stuff out. What was I'm curious, as a person, as an American born here.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts about America when you're in the Dominican Republic? I'm curious.
Yeah, the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
You
go there to make your dreams come true.
Your dreams can come true. There's more opportunity, more growth. We come from a country where definitely, work ethic is still in us because that's what we have to do to survive. And you bring that skill set into an abundant, endless opportunity country. I mean, the sky's the limit. And that's what I've seen and that's what I experienced. And I'm blessed that ultimately when, I came here, what city did you go to? That's a great question. I actually moved to Maine because that's where my uncle lived.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like to go from Dominican to Maine?
Frozen tundra.
You had to freak out.
Yeah. So
what was the first month you were here? What time of year?
It was August.
Okay, so that's nice, beautiful.
And Maine is already getting
the leaves are turning.
True. Yeah. But it was shocking. It was a culture shock.
Yeah.
I had challenges getting into school, obviously.
How about language?
Language, I didn't know any English at all. I didn't even know how to say I need to go to the restroom in the airport. And this literally happened. Like I was trying to go to the restroom. I didn't know how to say, where to say, or or anything. It was an interesting situation. But I adapted. My aunt, she's a warrior. I mean, I owe so much to her and my uncle. They fought for me. They fought to get me into school. They fought that I wouldn't lose a grade. They really, really were champions. And, I was the only Hispanic kid in my school. And actually, they called me the only black kid. I didn't even know I was black. In Dominican Republic, I'm one of the white ones, right?
Yeah.
So immediately I arrived, and there's stereotyping that I wasn't
Maine
used to.
is very white.
Correct.
Extremely white.
Yeah. And, the kids were trying to teach me words and, get me to say words that I shouldn't be saying in English. And, it was quite an adventure. You were probably a sophomore in high school? Yeah.
Okay.
I came in as a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing your best to try and learn the language. Deep end of the pool. Yeah. Total culture shock.
Yeah.
Did you make friends pretty quick?
I made a couple friends, that were kind of in my mindset at that time. Yeah. And actually, one of them is still like my best friend to this day. Cool. It was kind of an interesting situation to know who I could trust and who I couldn't, based on the fact that I didn't understand, what they were saying. And all the classes were in English. They assigned me an ESL teacher.
So you figured it out quick.
But I figured it out, I figured it out. Within a year, I was already pretty good at the English. I was already, getting great grades, being in the honor roll. And, and actually I had an opportunity where, because I had the grades, they offered me an invitation to apply for the National Honor Society.
Wow.
So I'm like, what is this? I was like, no, it's a cool thing, it can help you in college and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, what is the criteria? It's like, I got the grades, but then they want you to do community service, sports, leadership. They want you to, have a full-blown curriculum to provide. And I was like, well, I don't have all this, but I really want to be part of this. So I had to, over the next, 18 months, set a goal and set that checklist of things that I wanted to accomplish. I was like, okay, let's look at community service. That's easy. Let's find some place to contribute. So I started contributing in the library and doing hours there, painting the benches and filing the books and stuff like that. Then sports was a tough one because I'm not very athletic.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
Look like
especially from the Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah.
Baseball, I am horrible at baseball, which is a big pride in my country.
Baseball and soccer both, right? Those are two
Right.
big ones?
Yeah, soccer is not as big. Baseball is like our big thing.
Baseball's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
So I tried out, for everything I could, failed at everything. And then I'm like, well, I guess, this is going to be tough because I can't get that check mark of. And then, I had a friend of mine that was in the football team. And that one I didn't try because I was, always scared of football. And this guy is a linebacker. He's big, he's huge. It's like, well, I'm telling him the story. I was like, man, I'm trying to get this sports check mark done. And it's like, well, if you try out for football and you make it through Hell Week,
they'll put you on the team.
They'll put you on the team. All you have to do
might not
is survive.
Play, but you'll be on the sideline and you'll be on the team.
Yeah. So I said, okay, what do I need to do to prepare for that? I was like, well, I'm happy to train you. It's not going to be easy, but I'll train you. I was like, okay, I'm going to get to train with a linebacker, right? So now here I am all summer training with this huge guy doing deadlifts and all this. It was grueling and brutal. But lo and behold, I actually survived through the Hell Week. I did it.
What was your position?
I was a wide receiver.
Okay.
So I got into the football field. I was a wide receiver, got that check mark. So now I only needed the leadership check mark.
Yeah.
So you know how leadership works. You got to work your way up, right? And I have limited amount of time. So I'm trying to get creative and see what opportunities are there, obviously politics and all this stuff. And my Spanish teacher tells me, well, if you create your own club, you don't really have to, build your way up.
You'll be a leader.
You'll be the leader. I was like, okay, so, what are the options? Like, well, we don't have a Spanish club. I was like, really?
That's easy.
Yeah, but he's like, it's not that simple. You got to get a petition of students saying that there's a need for the Spanish club, that there's a need for that community, and, the principal will approve it. I was like, okay, I'm down for that. So I went ahead, I got the petitions, I got the, Spanish club community ramped up. I became the president of the Spanish club. We were cooking, we were dancing, we were sharing, learning a little bit of Spanish. And, I checked all the boxes, submitted the application, and they were announcing, I was in, homeroom or something, I was in the library in a round table, and they were announcing over, the speakers, the people that made it, to the National Honor Society, to the whole school. And I'm waiting. I was like, man, I have my fingers crossed under the table. Like, I'm just like there, like, did all this hard work pay off?
Yeah.
And sure enough, my name was called. And then, one of the National Society members was right there, and he hugged me, said, congratulations. I was like, wow, you can do what you set your mind to if you work hard.
Yeah, it looks to me like if somebody gives you a challenge, that's all you need.
Right.
Tell me what happens if I do this thing.
Right.
And you're like, good to go. Here's the challenge. Whether it's challenge of coming to America, or challenge of getting good grades in Dominican Republic, or challenge of honor society here. You do all this stuff. So you get part of this club. You graduate high school.
Yep.
Then what?
So, I had a passion for computer science, for technology, for you know, all that programming. I took programming classes, web development, you know, stuff like that. You know, but right out of high school, I was actually still undocumented. So I can't get into college, right? Like now it's really the time of decision, right? So we're trying to figure it out, you know, and ultimately I had to go back to the Dominican Republic. I had to go back and ultimately say, the only way to make this right, the only way to, you know, come back in and get the documents and everything is by saying, you know what, I gotta go back and figure it out from there in it and do it the right way. So, you know, it was another big decision.
Sure.
You know, here I built a life here, I have friends here, and I have so much. And then...
But the door closed.
The door closed, so I had to go back. And, you know, I'm turning 18. Now I'm actually going to be an adult. You know, obviously being undocumented here is not, you know, necessarily the best thing you want to do. So, you know, I go back. You know, I was 17 years old when I head back. And that was amazing because that's where I started dating my wife, you know, my now wife, you know, and without her, you know, I wouldn't even be where I am today.
Right. All works out for a reason.
It all works out for a reason. So people told me you will never be able to come back to the United States. You know, they tell me don't leave, stay here, figure it out here.
Because they'll close the door.
Yeah, you will never, it's impossible. You will never be able to come back, you know. And sure enough, you know, I had laid a great foundation here. I wrote letters to immigration, wrote letters to congressmen. You know, my aunt helped me, my uncle. You know, they became my mother and my father, you know. And actually, you know, my cousins became my brothers. Like, they're my brothers. You know, I have 3 brothers now. So I went from being the youngest to being in their household and being the oldest and being the example, which was a whole nother thing. I mean, I wasn't used to being held to such a high standard as the oldest, as an example. But anyway, I go back, and because I did so well in school, and, you know, I was a great citizen of the United States while I was here, you know, the congressman wrote letters to immigration and say, you know, there's not a lot we can do. We'll forward the information, and we'll let them know that we support this, you know, if there's something they can do. So they actually approved my aunt and my uncle legally adopting me and me becoming a citizen of the United States.
So the adoption was the path.
Yeah, the adoption was the path. And, you know, I spent a little bit over a year in the Dominican Republic waiting for that decision, waiting for that moment. And eventually, yes, you know, I was able to come back as a, you know, legal.
How old were you when you came back?
So, you know, I went back at 17. So it was, you know, around 18-ish.
Okay.
And while I was in the Dominican Republic, I went to technical school for computers and programming and stuff like that for that year. So when I came back, I started working in computers, and I used to work for a network management firm, doing websites. But, you know, that's when that entrepreneur bug kept kind of telling me this is not the path.
So when you came back, did you go to college, or did you
I did not.
Just start going to work?
I started going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you think I think the toughest journey in life is going from formal education to finding the thing.
Right.
That you're going to dig your teeth into, and it's going to be your path.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that little space in life, you're disconnected from everything. You just don't know what to do. Yeah. So how long did it take for you to find your thing? Yeah. And what was the thing?
Yeah, so that's where the story gets interesting, because, you know, I've always pushed hard, right? So I have this opportunity with this network firm, and I'm pushing hard. I become one of the top guys there. Now I'm leading, you know, the crew. I'm the one getting called when the blizzard happens, and, you know, the networks go down at 4 a.m. in the morning. But I'm not being compensated to the level of what I feel is my contribution. Right. I feel like, you know, there's got to be something I can do that provides me with a higher ceiling, that as hard as I work, I can become more and more and more successful, So I didn't like Maine. It was too cold. So I actually went and flew to Florida because we used to, vacation in Florida from time to time. I loved Florida. So I flew to Florida to see the landscape there. And, I had a little bit of an insight into real estate. And I felt like, that's a good opportunity. I feel like that has a ceiling that, I can go as big as I want if I work hard. So, I decided I did that with my vacation time. And then, I actually got my license while on a Christmas vacation and became a real estate agent. But then I went back and kept working until I eventually, I remember, and my boss was a great guy and he was amazing. And, ultimately, I'm blessed that I had that opportunity because that has helped fuel, a lot of my growth. But there was a moment where, he was faced with the decision of, I was asking him for a raise and he wouldn't give it to me, but yet he decided to buy some software for tax deductions to keep it on the shelf for the future. And I felt like, this is not for me. Like, this is something that, if I don't deserve a raise, but, tax deduction is more important, then I probably need to, find something else. And that's where I decided to move to Florida.
So was your girlfriend with you at the time?
Not at the time. Okay. Not at the time. So at that time, she was still in the Dominican Republic.
I'm guessing you guys figured out a way to get married and then bring her up from the marriage?
She actually came through her mother. So her mother was a resident of the United States, but her mother had declined that they were given residency. Her mother never liked the United States. She felt the United States was just a place where you came to work hard and, not live, but just work. So she's like, you guys shouldn't go there. But she fell in love with me. So she decided to start kind of unearthing, is there a possibility of bringing this back? Bringing this residency that we already declined back. And that was a whole nother story, a whole nother battle. Again, this is all like divine intervention, how that all worked, because eventually she was able, to come and bring that back up. And actually her sisters also, got the residency, and now they're all grateful because because of love, decided to push them to do that.
Yeah.
So she came, and I was living in Florida at that time, and I was living in an empty apartment. I was just getting started, broke, but I had a vision. And I like to go all in and all out when
it's a good philosophy.
When I do something. So I really wanted to not get a part-time job. I had a little bit of savings, but it wasn't easy because I bought a car and the motor broke down and I had to fix it.
Plus, it takes a while to make money in real estate.
Right, absolutely. It takes a while. I was horrible. My first year I only sold 3 houses. I was like, I'm working hard, but I was working hard on the wrong things. Now, my girlfriend came to live with me and she was cleaning houses to support us and support our entrepreneurial adventure of me becoming real estate, because she just got here from the Dominican Republic. She didn't know the language. So she's cleaning houses and, cleaning bathrooms and suffering. And here I am trying to become a realtor and failing miserably. And it was depressing. It was tough because I didn't want to see her like that.
Right.
I wanted to provide for her. And, that was my first realization that I needed to duplicate what I had done in the Dominican Republic, which was find the people who are doing great and copy them.
Yeah.
Emulate them, and figure out what's working.
Modeling.
Yeah. So, I found a mentor.
That is one of the best shortcuts.
Absolutely. I found a mentor, I found a coach, and I was able to go from 3 sales to 30 sales in 3 years. So my 30 years, I was at that level, then 50 and 75, then 100, 150. I opened up my own brokerage, all by modeling success. And, I became a very, very successful real estate broker. And, my wife never had to clean, houses. She was happy and, I was happy. I was fulfilled. But even that, doesn't have the expansive opportunity that, people think.
So I want to pivot to that because I sold real estate for year and a half.
Okay.
My first year, I made $45,000 and I spent $60,000, and I didn't save any money for taxes.
Yeah.
So that's when I got introduced to network marketing.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's always that closing that's for sure going to happen.
Yeah.
You borrow money and then the closing falls through, and I found myself on the hamster wheel. But we don't talk about companies in particular or any specific products, but I don't think it's a mystery that you've been involved in real estate for your whole life. Yeah. And then you found a way. There's some network marketing companies. There's some companies that use network marketing aspects in order to be able to expand their real estate empires, right? There's a handful of companies that do that. And at some point you found one of those companies.
Yeah. Yeah. So
how long ago?
Yeah, so 2.5 years ago,
Just that long?
Yeah, not that long.
Oh.
Not that long. So I've been part of this mastermind with top real estate team leaders and brokers from around the country. And I was part of that mastermind for many years.
Because you're modeling again.
Right. Yeah, and that, I was led by my mentor. And, he always taught me to, think bigger. And we were always trying to find a better way to grow, to scale, to do more. And, as a broker, there's some limitations for that because you cannot expand into every state because you need a broker's license in every state. Even expanding into other markets, it can be very, very challenging. So we were kind of in that hamster wheel at a bigger level. We were successful, but only as successful as we could keep, running that machine that depended all on us. And if something happened to us, it would all crumble down. And I came here to support my family. I came here, to give them a better life. My mom, my dad live near me. My brother, my sister live near me.
Moved up.
Yeah, and my wife is not cleaning houses. But here I have a real estate brokerage that depends on me. And if something happens to me, it all crumbles down because it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So I remember,
it gives you a little leverage, but not massive leverage.
Right. No, it doesn't give you massive leverage.
If you're a real estate agent, you have no leverage.
Right.
If you're a broker, you have some leverage.
Right.
But if you can add network marketing concepts to that, now you have unlimited leverage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, there was this little company at the time, and in one of those masterminds, which I almost didn't go, by the way, because, I had my best year ever that year in real estate, and we were crushing it, and I had invested into some other marketing strategies, and I just, felt like I didn't need more ideas, shiny objects. So I almost didn't go, but I had been going for so long. I was like, I'm going to go hang out with my friends. And I went to that mastermind, and while I was there, everybody was talking about this company. It's the boss. It's like, oh man, this company's taking over the industry. It's amazing. I was like, I need to know more. Tell me why. I was like, no, they're gonna talk about it later. It's something that you gotta wait for and see what it's all about. I was like, okay, but the boss was crazy, and I had promised my wife that I was gonna go just to hang out, but I was not gonna come back home with any crazy ideas.
That's a promise you can't keep.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So on that first night, I called her and she's like, hey, so how's everything going? How are the crazy ideas? What are you looking to implement now? I was like, I know, baby, I'm fine. So my heart is pumping because I'm like, this new model seems exciting. I don't even know the whole equation, but it one of my friends was like, Carlos, all you need to know is this solves all the challenges we've been trying to solve for many years. And I'm telling her, no, I'm good. Everything is good. But in my mind, I was like, oh my God, this thing looks really good. And now I'm going to get in trouble. So that was day one of the mastermind. Day two, obviously the leader of the mastermind, he has, someone go and explain, the company to us. And the company had been around for, several years, but it just had lit up. And this guy's a genius. Our founder, like, he literally created something that's super unique and, leveraging, concepts from, multi-level, which had been done before by other brokerages. But he just figured out a way to make it where we win at so many different levels, So, it's a publicly traded company. We get stocks, the collaboration is such, a high level. So when I saw the opportunity, I was like, wait a second. If that's real, what I'm seeing here is real, I'm in. Mm-hmm. Now I just need to find out if it's real.
Right.
And, at that point was still a little company, but with an amazing big vision. And I trust my gut. I trust, as I told you, I trust God. I trust whoever is guiding me. Something told me, like, this is the path. This is what you're missing, because this is going to create an asset for your family.
Yep. And more leverage.
It's going to create a ton more leverage. And you're going to have more fun. I was kind of in a success coma in a little bit,
Easy to happen.
And I went and, I bought a Tesla Model S, top of the line that year. I was like bored. I was like, I've been doing this for so long. I'm just going to buy a toy. I'm not a toy guy.
So long. You're 36.
I know, right?
So long. It's been taking so long. So at some point, you get excited about this. You got to figure out something to create more leverage.
Right.
Because I've also seen people in the real estate world burn themselves totally out. Mm-hmm. Because here's what I've seen. They can make pretty easy $250,000. Mm-hmm. If they got their act together, make $250,000 selling, maybe make $500,000 with a little brokerage, simple life.
Yep.
But to go above that,
right,
their life starts to lose simplicity. Mm-hmm. They start to go 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week. They add more people, which adds more stress. They got all the staff that they have to pay. Yeah. Something happens with like the financial crisis or whatever, and nobody's selling houses. All of a sudden, you got to lay everybody off. You got all this responsibility. Right. So to really make big bucks, you're buying a stressful life. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to figure out a way to bust out of that.
Right.
And you see this idea, you get excited. You tell me about the conversation with your wife.
Oh, boy.
How did you recruit her?
Oh, boy. It was interesting because, so, I go back home and, I'm telling her, baby, listen, she's like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear anything about it. You're crazy.
I like the life I have right now. Don't risk anything.
Yeah. We're doing well. We're having an amazing year. We're on the upswing. I was like, yeah, but this thing breaks down every couple of years and I have to rebuild it anyway, and it's something that it hinges so much on me. Like, she was completely against, us changing. I mean,
what turned it around?
Well, she saw my passion. She saw it in my eyes. She saw my excitement. And she's like, listen, I don't think you should do this, but I've never seen you that fired up. I've never seen those eyes like that, or I haven't seen it in a very long time. And if you go after this with that passion, you're going to do well. But here was her argument. I'm actually an analytical guy. I'm a computer guy. I'm a geek kind of guy, very introvert. Mm-hmm. I'm not somebody with a ton of friends. I'm not somebody with, I don't like necessarily social gatherings, and stuff like that. I'm very much to myself. And she's like, now you have to go and expand this team nationwide by convincing influencers in the real estate industry that this is a good idea. You won't do that because they got to know you, like you, and trust you. And you're not the kind of person that's going to go out and socialize and do all these things. And I was like, baby, this is something that is going to be better for all of us. I believe I can do it. I think it's easy. It will work,
So she says, okay, I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm nervous, but okay, I buy you.
Yeah, she bought me.
Okay. So you get started, and how long did it take before you had a taste of success?
Yeah. So, the first thing I did, by the way, was proven methods, proven models. I realized that, okay, I'm not reinventing the wheel this time. I need to find
modeling,
because that's already worked multiple times in my life, and I'm, gonna go full force with it. So, I started studying the direct selling industry, bought a bunch of books, got, in love with your book and your philosophy and, everything that you bring towards, expansion, right? And I was like, okay, this is something to implement. I bought some of your programs and saw some of your events, some of your conferences. And I was like, wow, like this is something that I can implement. I can duplicate this and model this structure into growing a real estate team nationwide. It is ultimately, the same strategies. And that's what I did, so I started implementing those things while still plugging into those that came before me in the company.
Sure.
Learning from what they were doing and ultimately implementing those strategies that they brought forth. And my first year, I only had 6 agents in my brokerage. So I grew from 6 to about 60 in that first year. So it wasn't success immediately,
10X.
But it was 10X. It was 10X. And it was definitely an opportunity that grew me a lot, stretched me a lot, made me a better person. Now it took me 10, 12 years to get to 6 agents. And then 1 year, here I have 60, different teams and all this stuff in multiple markets, in multiple areas. But also, leveraging your strategies, I was talking to some big influencers that I had already been discussing and talking to, and I took them to events. I gave them that experience. I gave them multiple exposures, and I stayed with them. And by that, a little bit after that first year, like February, because, I launched, into the new company in January of 2018. And, in February, I got my first big, momentum where, I was...
A year later?
About a year later.
A year later.
So
you went from 6 to 60, and then the next year you went from 60 to what?
Well, that year I brought aboard, I partnered with a brokerage of 100 agents, and we attracted a few other big brokers. We created an alliance. We started working together, and we ended up just, blowing up to like 400 agents within 6 months, which created all sorts of other growth challenges.
Of course.
Growing that quickly now. And that's where, then I decided to go to Beyond Leadership, and get that next level of leadership.
It's a high level leadership event that we do once a year. And there's a mastermind group that Carlos is also part of that is for 6-figure earners and above inside of the network marketing profession with various companies. And they share their ideas and strategies. It's a way to use modeling very aggressively.
Right. Yeah. And, like with my modeling, again, one of my mentors always told me, look outside the box.
Yeah.
Like look at areas that other people may not be looking. Where can you find that edge? Even look outside your industry.
Yeah,
sure. like where can you find those strategies?
Yep.
And that's part of what I do with this modeling. And I love spending time with the next level mastermind leaders. I mean, those guys are amazing, super sharp, the best in the industry. And I'm always like writing notes like Fast and Furious, right? Yep. So it's ultimately, for me, I've realized that in order for me to lead 1,000 agents and to contribute and add value to 5,000, 10,000, where, I will be in the future, I need to hang out with people that have organizations of that size.
Sure.
And
learn the lessons.
Yeah, and learn the lessons. And, in the real estate industry, that's very limited. That's very limited. So, obviously hanging out with you and those leaders that have 20, 30,000, 100,000 people organizations, it does help a lot. Yeah. So I definitely love what I've gathered from spending time with you guys.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Let me ask you a couple questions. So you've been involved in this profession now. And when I say profession, a lot of different companies call what they do different things. But I will say that your company and many companies around the world have network marketing principles, right? Network marketing aspects to their business. The ability to, in our business, we do 4 things. We sell products or services using word of mouth advertising, right? In your case, you offer your real estate services.
Yep.
2, we build teams of other people doing the same thing. 3, we duplicate the process. So it goes beyond us. And 4, based upon our leadership, we increase the productivity of our teams, right? So network marketing, I think, is a good term because we use networks to be able to market these services around the world. The bigger the network, the more services we can market. So what's your favorite thing in the last 2.5 years about this network marketing adventure?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I look at it, Eric, is like, okay, if I would have been there when one of the big brokerages started and I could have bought a region for it, that would have been a good opportunity, right? Let's say you own the region for one of the top brokerages, right? It would have been amazing because then you have that expansion opportunity. Then you are partnering with leaders. Then you're building those teams. But we didn't have those opportunities, right? So what, our founders saw was an opportunity to provide that opportunity to anybody that wanted to. The majority of our agents come to us because they want to sell more houses.
Yep.
They want to be more successful. They want to build a business. We do a lot of, marketing and a lot of strategies. But then there's some of us that want to be that regional leader, the regional manager, and we want to help the company grow at a high level. And what I love about it is that opportunity, the size of the opportunity. I literally own the world region for my company, right? I can go and build teams in any markets they go to.
The expansion opportunity is limitless.
Exactly. And provide, value to those agents, impact lives. I mean, I love the collaboration that it brings, the abundance that it brings, because we're connected in multiple ways. One of the big highlights and differences I see with what I do is that, I do have a normal real estate brokerage business that is still thriving just like it was, before. And, I'm earning a piece of the company via stocks by growing, right? And then I also have that expansion opportunity if I'm interested, which I was, right? Most agents, they do their normal day to day, but when that light fires, I actually have an agent that he just wanted to sell houses and just recently decided that, I want to build a team. And isn't it nice to not have a ceiling? That, in the normal brokerage...
Don't have to hold them down.
Right, I don't have to hold them down. In the normal brokerage model, I would be threatened because he wants to open his own brokerage.
You create your own competition.
You create your own competition.
Over and over.
Yeah, so with us, we collaborate, we're abundant, we're sharing, we're helping each other grow. The energy is amazing, the fun is amazing. So that's what I love the most. About the model, that it just links us together, locking arms, one big community, one big fire, one big alliance, and it allows us to take over the world.
What's your least favorite thing?
I guess my least favorite thing with the model is that some people have the wrong idea, right? Some people have the wrong idea of, what the model brings to the table. Some people say, in that company, they're mostly recruiting, which, is farther from the truth. Like the majority of our agents are not focused on that at all. They may attract someone here and there, but we're actually top ranked in the United States in sales. Yeah. Like one of the largest brokerages in sales in the country.
So to reframe it, one of your least favorite things is that this is misunderstood.
It is.
People misunderstand it. They judge it a little bit.
Yeah, they judge it a little bit.
We're
changing that narrative.
Too good to be true.
Right.
Lottery type deal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if it's that. I feel it's more like...
They misunderstand the network part versus the sales part?
I think what they misunderstand is that they can run their business in a normal way and fashion just like they do currently, but now they have more opportunity to build an asset through the stocks. They have more collaboration because they can mastermind and link arms with leaders who have done big things in the real estate industry that now offer their advice and their coaching and mentorship for free because, the multi-level structure is paying us as leaders to give all that we have, to open our playbooks. So my mentor, he was my coach, but I paid him over $200,000 in my real estate career in coaching, training, and masterminds to teach me what he knew. And all of a sudden, in our company, he doesn't charge anything. You can schedule a call with him. You can go to his masterminds. You can borrow everything.
It's worth it for him to do that.
Right. It's worth it for him to do. And now I get to offer that. And I'm a poster child because I tell them, listen, I grew because of this guy. And it cost me this much. But now you don't have to pay that much to get the same access to the same information.
Are you a big reader?
I am.
So give me, a handful. It doesn't need to be a certain amount, but some books that come to mind that helped your career.
The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I'm a huge fan of Darren. I love Gene Collins, Good to Great, Great by Choice. How to Influence and Influence People was actually one of the books that helped me become less of an introvert. And I'm very good with systems. And he literally gave you the playbook on building relationships. Genuinely. And caring and being genuinely interested in people. By me learning that, it changed my life. So it was amazing. So those are some of the books that have had great impact. And of course, GoPro. It's been,
our business,
a next life journey. I love Jim Rohn and listening to his content and his materials as well.
So it's been a great conversation, great journey, great story. And I know it's early on in the story as I'm 20 years older than you. So imagine your story in 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be something. So people at home, people listening to this or watching this, they want to have what you have. They want to have success. They want to have a breakthrough. They want to take the ceiling off of their earnings. For somebody who's looking at this or maybe involved and hasn't had their breakthrough yet, what advice do you have for them as we close it out?
Trust your gut. Take advantage of opportunities. When you see an opportunity, seize it. I saw an opportunity to come to the United States and I wasn't scared. Without my parents, without my mom, like she was my everything, she is my everything. And here I am breaking that bond and coming to the United States, but I knew I could do better here. I knew it was better for them. Then I saw an opportunity to excel, to do great in school, and I did. And then that helped me, get the right to come back to the United States as a bona fide resident of this country. So not wasting those opportunities. What if I would have wasted the opportunity of doing well in a school? Then maybe I wouldn't have been back. Right? So always living your best on the field is one of my values, one of my mantras. I push hard, I live my best, I give all I've got. Then the opportunity to partner with my current company was not easy. I had to go even over my wife. Eventually, she did turn around. And it's the funniest story because she never wanted to be in real estate. And she actually got her license later on. She actually got sold in the idea on her own. So it was awesome. So I would say take advantage of that opportunity when you see it, model success.
I heard that like 4 or 5 times over the course of your story.
Yeah.
Modeling is what helped you have the breakthrough.
Absolutely.
Getting somebody that's already has what you want.
Right.
And find out how they do it.
Yeah.
Even if you got to pay them.
Yeah.
Because, you can, if you pay somebody for their coaching or their their expertise, you can be a year smarter without being a year older.
Absolutely.
That's why you can accomplish so much by age 36.
Yep.
Well, listen, Carlos, this has been great. And I know your contribution's been phenomenal up until this point, and I know it's just the beginning. You're going to do amazing, spectacular things.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being my friend, my mentor, and guiding me through all this growth. I wouldn't be here without you, Eric. I'm super grateful.
I think you would have, but maybe a little faster.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
faster.
And we're just getting started.
Getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos German, I hope you got value from this. I know that I did. If you did get value, please make sure that you share this with somebody that could learn something from it. I know they'll be grateful. Thanks a lot, everybody, and we'll see you next time.